Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be taking a bit of a look at some cool stuff that's going on in the Tanaan jungle. There's been a few updates, and it's about time that I filled you in. But first, I just want to quickly mention some channel-related stuff. Content over the last few days has been a little bit sparse, and that may continue for the next, maybe week. And that's because I'm in the middle of university stuff at the minute. It's kind of, finals and all that for this semester, and it is third year, so it's quite a big year. In fact, right as I record this video, I'm pretty much coming off a double all-nighter, so if I seem delirious, yeah, that might be why. Either that or Apexis Missions, because, hey, we're going to be doing some more of them. Let's get into the actual stuff for this video. So, we've always, or we haven't really known in the PTR what the crack was with the garrison shipyard resources. Well, we now know that that resource is called oil, and we in fact know exactly where it comes from. You guessed it, Tanaan Apexis Missions. It says here 800 Apexis crystals, but that actually isn't the case, and I'll show you what happens when we actually go to the location for that mission. But before I leave the base, there are two other things to show you. The first thing to show you is very good, actually. It's this NPC, and talking to him will allow you to select one of your outpost abilities that you can then use in Tanaan. So that's definitely very good. Now, this is going to be super powerful if you're coming in here on a brand new alt. So you come in here with a new alt, not that much gear, but you have artillery strike. It means that you can attack the elites and kill them that are in Tanaan, and they drop 650 weapons and armor, so that could be a good way of gearing up. Also, here's Rashad, who is just a part of the garrison campaign. No spoilers, don't worry. But, as always, the garrison campaign missions do give you a bonus objective thingy, which will, well, essentially be the exact same as the one that I'm about to fly off to. So let's just find the flight point person, who is here, and head to the Iron Front. Now, where is the Iron Front? There we go. So, what we're going to find out when we hit the Iron Front is that instead of giving a measly 800 Apexis crystals, what these missions actually do is they give us 600 oil and 2,000 Apexis. Now, oil is going to be a super important resource because oil is basically what's going to make the new building, the shipyard, tick, and the shipyard is where all of the progression for the garrison is. They are not adding a new tier of, follower levels or anything like that. It's all on the shipyard. And that means they're adding in new missions for the shipyard, and some of those missions give you gear. Now, you've got missions that give 640 bits of gear, which can then be upgraded to 680s. I don't know how they're upgraded. And then you can also get Hellfire Citadel raid gear. Well, that essentially means that if you're a raider or maybe just someone who's really interested in gear in general, it's going to be pretty much necessary to, at least for the first while, do these Apexis missions because they do give you oil, and you're going to be wanting just to get as much oil as you can so that you can pump up the power of your, just build loads of ships, upgrade your shipyard, do all that stuff. So if I click on the objective pane here, we then see, 2,000 Apexis crystals and 600 oil. And that's interesting. Previously in patch 6.0, Apexis crystals, to many of us, they just weren't that useful. Whereas now, these Apexis missions are going to be very useful because of the oil. I think a good analogy for it is, back at the very launch of Warlords of Draenor, when everyone hit max level, the one thing that we all kind of wanted loads of was garrison resources. Well, this seems to be the equivalent of Apexis missions from nowadays in WoW giving us garrison resources. Just that, of course, in 6.2, it's not garrison resources, it's oil for your shipyard, and the actual Apexis reward has been increased up to 2,000. However, they would need to increase it to 2,000 because there's some expensive items coming in for Apexis. I'm not sure about what they're doing with gear, but I know that there is a mount coming in, which is 150,000 Apexis crystals. So essentially, when you come in here on a character, and if that's a character that you want to have decked out in good gear, you are going to have to do the, the Apexis missions in here every day. For as long as it takes to get a shipyard that's really well upgraded and has got, good ships, and all those ships, would have good fittings and various things like that. So that's what's going on with Tanaan Jungle. What I will say is that while those Apexis missions maybe don't float my boat the most, Tanaan is actually a nice zone to do them in because it's generally got quite a high density of things. There's loads of rare mobs and treasures and things like that. So it does seem like a more interesting experience than just, say, heading off to Socrthar's Rise, which may be a bit dull in comparison. Now, also speaking of rares, rare mobs can drop just, you know, various different things, as is usually the case. That includes 650 gear, it includes toys, and it also includes, and it's not for every rare, but at least for many of them, oil. So what's going to happen on day one is if you're super serious about getting your shipyard upgraded, you're going to head into Tanaan, you're going to get a list of, you know, rare mobs to kill to drop oil, and then you're just going to go through the list, get as much oil as you can on day one, and try to upgrade your boats as much as you can. That at least sounds, or seems like how Tanaan Jungle is going to play out anyway, and I just thought I'd let you know what was going on, because previously we didn't actually know where the hell we were going to get that oil from. And of course, there's always the chance that Blizzard will, you know, they'll give us that oil for something else, in addition to this. And of course, you know, the numbers here are not 100% final, it's still during the PTR. What does interest me though, and I don't know if I'll actually make it there in this video, is the Vault of, I think it's called, yeah, the Vault of the Earth. We don't know what's going on there. It's got a whole bunch of friendly orcs, but they don't talk to us, they don't give us any quests, and I've got to imagine that there's going to be something going on there. One thing that the Timeless Isle maybe had going for it for some people was the whole currency system with the coins. Maybe that Vault of the Earth is going to come with some sort of currency, maybe that'll be a rep. There's a lot of potential for that to give, I think, pretty cool vanity rewards and various things like that, so I hope they do decide to make use of that content. Because right now, Tanaan Jungle, I mean, if I'm honest with you, it pretty much is do your rares, do your treasures, and kill, or, you know, and do Apexis Missions. So if that's not really stuff that interests you, then there's not going to be a great deal of interest in Tanaan in general if it stays in its current state. Though, of course, getting all those rares and treasures is going to be quite a lot of fun for the first few days. Like, I still remember near the start of Warlords, it was a pretty fun experience going around, killing all the rares and collecting the things. So, we don't, you know, like, it's still early days, right? We don't know 100% what the final state of Tanaan is going to be, but in terms of your character's progression anyway, and getting access to that Hellfire Citadel raid gear via the shipyard, it does look like you're going to have to be pretty heavily involved in the stuff in Tanaan Jungle. Anyway, that's basically it for what I wanted to cover in this video. Let me know what you think about the system, and also let me know what sort of things you would like to see going on in the Vault of Earth, which we are just flying up to now. That's it for the video, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.